Weekend UpNate. The Weekend UpNate. Your weekly recap of news, current events, and trending stories. Let's do this. The Weekend UpNate with your host, Nate Armbruster.
Hello and welcome to episode 53 of Weekend UpNate. How's everybody doing? We've got a lot to talk about this week, starting with my album release, okay? It's out there, it's official, everything is submitted, it's happening, okay? February 3rd, Friday, February 3rd. I'm going to need you guys all to go to your favorite music app, whether it's Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, and download it, okay? Whether you pay for it, stream it, do whatever. The more people that do that, the better it is for me, okay? And here's a little tip. Now, I would assume if you're listening to the podcast, you might be okay with my sense of humor or whatever it is that you want to call what I do. I think you'll like it, though. It turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. It's the best thing that I've released ever. It's also the only thing, so I guess my odds are pretty good there, right? There's nothing to compare it to. So if you could please go pre-save it and all that good stuff, and it helps it get on the iTunes charts. Obviously, that's like 90% of the reason you do it. Just so you can get that little screenshot. Okay, that's my goal here. I don't know what else. I mean, nobody buys CDs anymore. It's not like I'm going to retire off this, but I made it, and I want people to listen to it. And here's the coolest part. Okay, asking people to listen to your podcast or go to your shows, right? It's like kind of like a shameless thing. It's something you got to do, but also at the same time, like, if you're talking to friends, they're kind of over it. The longer you do it, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, you still do it, but I'm not interested, and that's totally valid. But in the case of this, you can listen to it for free pretty much, and the beauty is you don't even have to listen to it. If you don't like it, you can still play it, but just turn it down all the way or hit mute, and it still counts as a play, and it'll help me, kind of hopefully break the algorithm. Break it? I don't know if that's the right term, but you know what I'm saying. Catch it? I'm not a nerd. I don't know this stuff. But yeah, the more people that listen, the better. So if you can just hit play on it, you can walk away, you can go grocery shopping while it plays on your computer at home. That still counts as a play. So I would appreciate it. And if you want more details, you can click the link in the show description. I hope you guys like it. Now, before we get into the stories this week, I have to talk about some stuff. So I've been watching a lot of Netflix lately, a lot of TV watching in the Armbruster household, right? And one of these shows is the Bernie Madoff documentary that Netflix did. Now, if you're not familiar, this guy basically created the largest Ponzi scheme in the entire world, in the history of the world. And in 2008, everything came crashing down. And my mind is blown, okay? Because at the time, I wasn't really following the story, right? But I do remember all of this stuff happening. And now, this fucking guy stole so much money from people. I mean, is in the billions, right? And all of these poor folks who gave him money to invest, right, or basically trusted him to invest their money, didn't know that it was just gonna, just going into his pockets, right? And when it all came crashing down, these people were left broke. Their entire life savings. It is horrible and tragic, right? And then all of these people, well, not all of them, but enough of them agreed to be interviewed on camera. This is what I find most fascinating about these docuseries that Netflix does, is the people they convince to go on the air and talk about probably the worst thing that's ever happened to them. Even like murder documentaries. It's like, Jesus, these people are comfortable talking about this publicly like this. I mean, I don't know if I could do it. I'm curious if any of these people get paid. I mean, I hope they're compensated on some level, right, to be in a Netflix series, but I don't know how you approach somebody like, hey, you remember how you lost your house and your entire life savings, millions of dollars, and do you want to remember that on camera and just relive that trauma? It blows me away. What fascinated me the most about Bernie Madoff is he had a legitimate investment company, right? And he was already rich, and he still on the side took all these folks' money and knew he wasn't doing anything with it. Like, I can't believe that type of psycho exists. You know what I mean? Like, how do you not have a conscience, like, on that level? It's not like you stole a little bit of money. I mean, that I could maybe understand. Like, I can at least wrap my head around why somebody would do that. But it's like, I mean, billions? You're just going to make up all of these transactions every week? You know what I mean? Like, you're clearly, like, a smart person, okay, to be that successful at something. But, man, like, to think you can get away with that on that level is astounding to me. I mean, billions of dollars. Okay, I don't know if I could do it. And I don't mean, like, morally. Well, definitely morally. I could not. I just, that seems like a lot of work to lie or to, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like if he had just taken these folks' money, right, and just invested it legitimately, he probably would have turned out pretty successful anyway, you know? I'm just not a good liar. Like, I can't even go to a restaurant and ask for a water cup and get soda. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even do that. That's how honest I am. I'd be like, no, I asked for a water cup, I'm getting water, because I'm a responsible adult. Oh, by the way, so I've been doing this cleanse, right? And so I've been eating as clean as possible for the last few weeks. No alcohol. The caffeine thing, I'm down to a cup of coffee a day. Just one cup. I feel like that's acceptable. Because prior to this, I was maybe drinking a pot of coffee a day. And now I'm down roughly 20 pounds. And I gotta say, although I feel pretty great, right? I'm sleeping better. I'm losing some weight. My clothes fit better. It's all good. But you know what's bullshit about life is all of the best things in life are horrible for you. Anything you want to eat, it's like, nah, no, go eat some broccoli instead, okay? That's so not fair, man. Why can't we live in a world of all the bad things that exist in the world, right? Why do we, on top of that, we can't eat pizza every day or after 8 p.m.? Well, I can't. Like 10 years ago, I could eat pizza after 9 o'clock and go to sleep and wake up at 6 a.m. and feel great and work a full shift somewhere, right? Now, man, if I do that, I got to call off. I got to lay down for 12 days. It's bad. It's a bad scene. That heartburn is no joke, man. Like, you know you're getting older when you have a favorite flavor of Tums. That's the point in life that I'm at. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about some crazy shit. Here's some of the craziest shit that happened last week, all right? Now, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but a Detroit teenager won $613,000 on a lottery ticket that her friend bought her. And this story, it inspires me, but it also infuriates me. It inspires me because one day I could be that lottery winner. I know I've talked about the lottery at length on this podcast, and I think I speak for everyone when I say it's kind of a pipe dream to win the lottery, right? Like, that's, everybody knows what they're going to do when they win a large sum of money, right? Everyone has these ideas, these plans, but everyone's like, it's not going to happen. The odds are impossible. But then every week there's a story about somebody winning, and it infuriates me. But what if one day that's me? Isn't that the messed up? This is why gambling becomes an issue for people, right? Because you could be that winner, but also you could be the friend that bought the winning ticket for someone else and then hate your life forever. Okay, like, that's worse than buying yourself a ticket and losing, because, you know, at least you knew, like, hey, I spent $20 on this lottery ticket and I lost all of it. Okay, my life's not over. I just lost $20. This person gifted their friend the lottery ticket as like an early gift, like a Christmas gift, right? And it was like one of those like fast cash. It was the Lucky Sevens fast cash game, right? And they bought it. They were just out, and they went into a gas station in Detroit. And as she's 19 years old, this woman won $613,000. This is nuts. And okay, first of all, I have a few things to say about this. Now, what kind of friend? Well, this is the thing. My family, this isn't like that unheard of. Like, my family, we loved it. Any holiday, birthday, whatever, if you want to get someone a gift, it is totally acceptable to give that person a scratch-off ticket. That's just the way we are. You know, it's a great gift. However, no one's ever won big, right? It's maybe, I think the largest I can remember is like somebody winning $100, and that's like fun, you know, but most of the time I'm like, you know, you could have just given me the $5 you spent on the tickets. But it's the gambling, right? That's what you love. That's your favorite part. Now, it's never discussed prior, like what happens if you win a large amount of money, right? Because you got to put it out there, like, by the way, if you win like big, we're splitting that shit, okay? I know it's a gift, but I think there's a mutual understanding that you kind of owe me. But like, this is what I wanted to say. What kind of friend, they're just out and about, stop by for gas, right? You just got to fill up, and then someone's like, by the way, I wanted to give you this as a present, and it's just a Lucky Sevens fast cash ticket. I'd be like, bitch, you can keep that. Actually, no, I'll take it in case I win. But you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, it's almost like a rude gift. Okay. Except for, and this is the only time it ever worked out, I swear. The brutal part of the story is, in all of the reports that I'm looking at, nothing says that they talked about splitting the money or anything like that. And I'm guessing that means they didn't. I don't know. I mean, there's got to be like, it's got to be awkward, right? When you're in the car with somebody and it's like you scratch off this thing, or you find out you won $600,000. I have this idea in the back of my head, like if this ever happened to me, right? Like my uncle gives me a scratch off ticket for Christmas one year and I win $500,000. I'm going to pretend like I lost and then go home. And I'll be like, hey man, thanks for the tickets. This is great. And then, I mean, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but this is definitely something I would love to do at some point in life. And that is win the lottery and not tell a person about it, right? Like I would love to win like $1 million or millions. I mean, like not even just $1 million. Like I would love to win like one of those $1 billion Powerballs, right? Something absurd. And then what I'm going to do is not tell my fiance. If I win the money, I'm just going to I'm going to keep it quiet, right? I'm not going to tell a soul, not even my fiance, until I'm going to wait 2 weeks after I win, right? 2 weeks after I win, I'm going to set it up with my boss, right? I'll be like, hey, I'm going to sign on one day and we're going to have like a quote unquote meeting, right? And I'll even pay him. I'll throw him $50,000 if he lets me do this. That might even be a bit much. He'd probably do it for nothing. But I'd be like, this is what I'm going to do. I obviously am going to quit this job, but I'll work the next 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, we're going to have like a quote unquote meeting, and I'll build it up in the apartment. I'll be like, oh, I got this big meeting coming up and I'm so nervous about it. I think he's going to fire me. And then all of this stuff, right? And then I'm going to get my fiance all up in arms about it. Like, oh, I hope not, this and that. And then when we're on the call, I'm going to be like, well, you know what? Fuck you. I never want to work here again. I never liked working here in the first place. I'm just going to completely snap, right? It just turn into a complete psychopath. And then I'm just going to storm out of the apartment. And then I'm going to come back and she'll be like, whoa, what happened? And I'll be like, well, it just didn't work out or something. And then as soon as it's awkward and we got to have like a real tough conversation, I'm going to be like, oh, by the way, we're billionaires. Okay. That long game it'd be even more fun to do it like for longer than 2 weeks, like months, but I feel like that would be impossible. You know what I mean? Like that's a tough secret to keep. Like, wow, how come Nate's all of a sudden ordering Starbucks via DoorDash? Because that's an absurd cost. You know what I mean? Like I can do that now. We're billionaires. God, how pissed would they be? It'd be like the best way to like, that'd be the best prank to play on someone, is to be like, to know you guys just won hundreds of millions or maybe billions of dollars in the lottery, and then to know that they lied about it for 2 weeks. That's hilarious. So congrats to this lucky ass person. God, like, anyway, I'm worried about that friend, man. I'd be so pissed. I'd be so pissed. I'd be so happy for him, but part of them is just like, son of a bitch. I could have kept that ticket for myself. Ugh. Just remember this: when you buy someone a ticket, you're pretty much forfeiting all of potential winnings, and that hurts worse than just throwing. I'll just give somebody $100 cash because I know how much I'm out. Okay, here's $100 cash. I just made your day. I'll keep the lottery tickets. But then again, is that the best financial move? I don't know. You're listening to a guy with a podcast. I mean, I'm sure, I'm sure you can figure out that I don't exactly have a lot of money. Okay. Look, my only advice is if you're going to give somebody a lottery ticket as a gift, make sure you agree before they scratch it off or before they check to see if it's a winner. Make sure you agree that you get a slice of that, because, man, that's going to be an awkward drive home. You know what I mean? You got to pretend to be happy for him. Like, oh, no, that's amazing. Son of a bitch. All right, here's another odd story that I saw. So Netflix is hiring a flight attendant for their private jet with compensation of up to $385,000. Okay, half of what that woman won in the lottery. You can earn that as a Netflix private jet flight attendant, and $385,000. Now, I'm not going to pretend like flight attendants don't deserve such a nice compensation like that, but something tells me that they could maybe pay half that and maybe don't start putting ads on the platform. You know what I mean? Like maybe you won't have to increase the price of Netflix or prevent people from sharing their logins if you do. You know what I mean? Maybe if you pay a little less for your flight attendants, maybe sell a jet and you don't have to ruin the entire thing they built by adding commercials. You know what I mean? Like maybe you could do that. And this is what I get why some people have to fly private. It's like a security issue. I don't know. You don't want, depending on the person, you can't have the president flying coach. That'd be funny. That would be really awesome if it works that way. But like there's all this hate against people with private jets, and that's fair. I will say though, most of that hate is probably jealousy. Everybody likes to pretend it's the environment, but I bet you no one that's flown private agrees with that. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, of course, it's easy for us to say, like, oh, you're using that private jet too much. It's such a waste of, you're killing the environment. It's so wasteful. And it's like, yeah, but the minute you can do it, your opinion's going to change on that, right? But I just think, like, a Netflix executive, how many people, like, oh, yeah, do you really need to, you can't fly first class or coach? Like, just something, like, who the hell wants to talk to you anyway? A private fleet of jets? I think Netflix should sell some of these off. Just because I'm tired of them, talking about adding commercials and preventing people from sharing their passwords, By the way, how often are they using this jet? Are they really flying that much? Is this going to be like a sweet gig? I mean, well, it does sound like a sweet gig. Like if I were a flight attendant, I'd be applying for this job ASAP because, what do you got to do? Wait on 3 people? Make sure, it's first of all, it's private, so you don't have to deal with the people rushing to get out as soon as the seatbelt light goes off. You know what I mean? Like those fucking people that try to rush towards the front of the plane. You don't have to deal with that. You don't have to deal with people who don't understand how carry-on works. And, you just don't have to deal with assholes. Now, I guess that doesn't mean that the people on the plane won't be assholes, but I would rather bring 3 people drinks than, walk up and down the plane being like, do you know how flying works? Well, yeah, you're not supposed to have your tray tables down when you're taking off. Like, everybody knows that, right? But no, this would be a much better gig if I were a flight attendant. I'd be going all for it. And I would imagine they got to hook you up with a free Netflix account, right? And then when they offer it to you, it'd be like, no, man, I'm still using my mom's. It's all good. This actually intrigues me, though, because, like, what if it's like 1 flight a week, and you're still just on salary? That's not a bad deal, right? So I guess if you're a flight attendant, maybe consider this. And if you get the job, try and talk them out of the whole stopping of password sharing, okay? Do a solid for the rest of us. Okay, now on to the next one here. Let's see. An Ohio dog named Spike has been certified as the oldest dog living by the Guinness Book of World Records. Okay, this dog is 23 years, 43 days old. Isn't that bananas? 23-year-old dog, okay? It's a Chihuahua. Now, I'm a dog lover, okay? And I am all for dogs living forever, particularly my dog, right? However, I don't own a Chihuahua. I feel like a Chihuahua makes perfect sense for being the oldest dog, or a dog that would live this long, because they're just so annoying. Like, if I got a Chihuahua, in the back of my head, part of me would be thinking, well, it's not like they're going to be 23 years old one day. Not that you want your dog to live a short life, but a Chihuahua for 23 years? Oh my goodness. That's such a long time. This dog was born before 9/11. Isn't that crazy? I bet this dog doesn't even remember it. So anyway, I hope your dog is blessed with as much good fortune as Spike the Chihuahua, the oldest living dog. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for me this week. Now, if you enjoyed the show, hit subscribe and join me online everywhere at Nate Comedy, at Weekend UpNate, and I'll be back next week with a new episode. In the meantime, click the links in the show description that'll give you more information on the album, which will be coming out on February 3rd. Join my email list so you get all the updates so you don't miss a thing. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week with a brand new episode.
You've been listening to the Weekend UpNate with Nate Armbruster, and you liked it, didn't you? If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review, and be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week on the Weekend UpNate.
Bye-bye.